Welcome to my YouTube channel. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Let's start the topic of humanity's need for prophethood. Part number 16, Restoring the Unity of God. The final Prophet ﷺ accomplished the rare feat of providing the world with impeccable clarity on the identity of God, His oneness, and His perfection. It was a clarity that aligned with both human nature and rationality, and thus became the hallmark of Islam. He taught a simple and intuitive theology that described to people their Creator and the path to Him in a way that spread like wildfire across the globe. Islamic monotheism became the religion of Arabia. In just 20 years of preaching, in stark contrast to the Roman Empire needing about 3 centuries to become majority Christian. This attests to Muhammad ﷺ coming with a unique proposal, one that struck such a deep chord in humanity that it effectively stripped them of some of their most hindering tendencies, such as the blind conformity that cultures at times perpetuate and the idolization of ancestors that has occurred in so many civilizations. Muhammad ﷺ unearthed for a vulnerable world their long-lost sanctuary, direct access to the one true God. The most merciful, he ﷺ refused to rest until they knew that only through singling God out in devotion would they find contentment and satisfaction, and that only through Him would their moral compasses be set aright. For those who understand that only disorder can exist outside an authentic, God-centric lifestyle, this is the singular accomplishment of Muhammad ﷺ, restoring the unity of God. In people's lives resulted in restoring order and meaning to life, as it did away with the notion of life being a destination-less journey. And for those who struggle to see the utility of an authentic theology in our age, perhaps they should consider the emerging fascination with spiritual intelligence. In the turmoil-filled modern world, along with the significantly lower homicide and suicide rates in Muslim countries, Alphonse de Lamartine says on this point, "Never has a man proposed for himself, voluntarily or involuntarily, a goal more sublime, since this goal was beyond measure, undermine the superstitions placed between the creature and the Creator, give back God to man and man to God, reinstate the rational and saintly idea of divinity in the midst of this prevailing chaos of material and disfigured gods of idolatry. Never has a man accomplished in such short time such an immense and long-lasting revolution in the world, since, less than 2 centuries after his prediction, Islam, preaching and armed, ruled over 3 Arabias and conquered to God's unity. Persia, the Khorasan of Transoxania, Western India, Syria, Egypt, Abyssinia, and all the known continent of Northern Africa, many islands of the Mediterranean, Spain, and part of Gaul. Edward Gibbon adds, "The Mahometans have uniformly withstood the temptation of reducing the object of their faith and devotion to a level with the senses and imagination of man. I believe in one God, and Muhammad, the Apostle of God, is the simple and invariable profession of Islam. The intellectual image of the deity has never been degraded by any visible idol. The honors of the Prophet have never transgressed the measure of human virtue, and his living precepts have restrained the gratitude of his disciples within the bounds of reason and religion." This purest conceptualization of monotheism was inculcated by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, purely personal relationship with God, one void of any intermediary or human interference. This strict monotheism placed all men and women on equal footing before God and with equal access to God. This helped shape the egalitarian nature of Islam, providing a social narrative in which the holiness of men was not evidenced by their material possessions or social class, but rather by their acts of piety and righteousness. Furthermore, the theology he ﷺ brought corrected competing theologies about God, resulting in one coherent monotheistic worldview. This was the explanatory power of Islam, which gave it immense appeal. its compelling ability to satisfy existential questions about God and creation. As for its spiritual appeal, that too was a driving force behind its continued imprint on the minds and hearts of people. After all, the greatest miracle of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the Qur'an, which stands as God's verbatim address to humanity, available to all who choose to study it until the end of time. Thanks for watching this video. Be ready for the next video. Like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.